Hello and welcome to the LPL Showdown. After Invictus Gaming played a much more controlled set against LGD last night, resulting in a 2-0 upset, we're much more hopeful for some high-level play in the third best of two of tonight between OMG and Invictus Gaming. Before we can get there though, we'll take Energy Pacemaker versus Snake and Gamtee versus Edward Gaming. The night will end with a similarly one-sided set between WE and Starhorn Royal Club.
Oh boy. Not too long ago, I would have favored Energy Pacemakers in this matchup against Snake. EP had a lot going for it, but as you can see, it's all going down the drain. EP is struggling to show some form, and if they don't soon, they'll without a doubt find themselves in the bottom two. Drizzle isn't, will not, and probably will never have the form and synergy Captain 57 had with his laners. And while Amazing J seems to be the best member on that team currently, it isn't saying much. Highlight for Energy Pacemakers is Amazing J. How hard can he carry? Against World Elite yesterday, he played pretty well. But he needs to downright be superhuman to lug that weight to the finishing line. Snake also found themselves with two new Koreans, the direct comparison being Beast versus Drizzle, and it's no surprise that I find Beast to be better in any and every way possible for this team, while EP has found themselves under a scrappy skirmish playstyle. Snake has evolved from that form ages ago. Highlight for Snake is Flandre. Can Flandre drive a spear through the heart of EP? Spoiler alert, yes. Flandre is the better player in the top lane matchup. So if it's up to Amazing J to carry his team's load, it's not looking good if he cannot carry his own this set.
Gamtee versus Edward Gaming. The entertaining part of this match is that Gamtee plays like a poor man's version of 2014 Edward Gaming, only they aren't the biggest fans of the team fight. This might seem very strange to you, but the way Gamtee plays is that they approach much slower laning phases, where they play passively and just try not to give up kills. But then they later rely on their ability to out-rotate in the late game, waiting for teams to kind of make a mistake and then pounce. You can obviously see why this might not be the easiest thing to pull off in a region full of heavyweights who will jump on you as early as possible and never let you go. Luckily, the team isn't completely hopeless in a 5v5 or even in a skirmish. Most of these players are extremely talented, you can tell by their mechanics, but also very young, and they tend to make really questionable decisions. This is the quintessential we robbed an elementary school bus team. But you can tell that they definitely will have bright careers ahead of them if they kind of mature a little bit and get the experience that playing in a game like this can help them with. The mid lane will be sort of the wild card, the most interesting matchup here. Xiaohu, Gamtee's new mid laner, has played 4 games with the team so far after he turned 16 and was old enough to participate in the LPL. He's been known for his high-pressure Zed play in the past when he played on MD, a team that failed to qualify for LSPL. He can serve as a bridge for the otherwise passive squad of Gamtee if the young prodigy can get past a 2014 world champion in Pawn. Fizz will likely be contested between Pawn and Xiaohu, and Azir will be picked up as a solid backup if it's banned. If this were an Edward Gaming of old, we'd probably be in for a long set because Edward Gaming took everyone ridiculously long to finish. But with the way that they've been playing these tight skirmish games, using the duo of Koro and Clearlove to control zones for Deft, while Pawn and the new support Mako, who has been playing phenomenally, by the way, on both really hard engaged champions like Leona and disengaged champions like Janna. While those two roam for picks, and Clearlove, Koro, and Deft play the teamfight game, this should be an open and shut series with games ending in less than 30 minutes each. The highlight best of two of the night is going to be between OMG and Invictus Gaming. What can we say about Invictus Gaming? Until last night, they hadn't taken a game off any team in LPL except the bottom 3, Energy Pacemaker, Gamtee, and WE. But last night, the 2-0 against LGD Gaming, heavy favorites for top 3, was a really big upset. And they did it with really crisp, controlled, more patient moves than we've typically even seen out of Kakao and Rookie on KT Arrows. Maybe they sort of brought it back a little bit, tried to work on synergizing with their team, and they're being more patient until they can kind of get the flow with perhaps maybe a more traditionally passive bottom laning Kid and Kitties. Pokemon, who's new to the LPL, used to play in LSPL, isn't really a star top laner among all of the really big names playing this split. So they dialed it back a little, played a much more paced, even controlled game. And they really, I think, took LGD by surprise. You didn't expect them to be as prepared. Kakao was also much more active on the map, kind of a little bit like his old self, finding his stride and not just ganking for Rookie, propping up Pokemon in the top lane, etc. And Kid and Kitties were on comfort picks, like Kid's Ezreal, which Kid played a lot of Ezreal, really, really well. Always really, really fun to watch. And Kitties is Janna, which, by the way, he played before Gorilla made it cool this year. Just want to throw that out there. OMG, on the other hand, has been overwhelming and overpowering on a 1v1 basis against their opponents. And this is where things get a little bit interesting. Cool shouldn't be able to walk all over Rookie, right? You think Rookie has his reputation. He's kind of been styling on people in LPL almost as much as Cool. The go-going Pokemon matchup might be one-sided, and Kid and Kitties tend to play more passively, even if they are pretty talented as a bot lane. So, if OMG doesn't do a poorly executed lane swap or anything, the sidelines still should go in OMG's favors, but Rookie should make things more difficult for Cool in general. In this case, we'll get to see an OMG that doesn't necessarily snowball every single lane. They might come out with some creative jungle picks to deal with Kakao. And meanwhile, if Invictus Gaming plays like they did last night, they seem a bit more cohesive, maybe even than OMG is right now. And I might even favor them for this matchup if they can play as well as they did last night. It's really going to be down to whether Lovelane can invade and shut down Kakao, or if Cool can play really, really well against Rookie. Or maybe even if OMG just, says, screw the mid and jungle, we're just going to completely destroy them in the side lanes and plow through the game, and then it's not even going to be interesting. But it's going to be down to how well they play it, kind of the strategies that both teams bring. Either way, I'm really excited to see this. I think OMG might be able to sweat a little bit, and I expect both teams to come prepared with something here.
World Elite for Starhorn Royal Club is not going to be a very great matchup, I feel. I think that World Elite is hardly threatening to Starhorn Royal Club, so I'll keep this brief, and here's why. Now, a lot of people realize how strong Starhorn Royal Club looked with Uzi and the fact that he brought them to Worlds twice. The thing is Kola and Korn, the solo laners of Starhorn Royal Club, have really come into their own, and now it feels like they're actually a better team because they're more diverse and flexible in terms of what they can play out strategically, because they no longer just focus on Uzi carrying everything. And now that the solo laners have not only improved, but they'll be acquiring more resources, it's a really promising matchup for World Elite, or for Starhorn. Now, World Elite's really, really looking the worst they've ever looked. I believe the only game they took was against Vici earlier on. They've lost against IG, LGD, Masters 3, OMG, Snake. They have not been looking good, we'll put it that way. So an organization that used to have such they used to have such prestige is now suffering pretty much a chance at being bottom of the barrel. In fact, they are right now, but they may actually stay there, which is scary. Now, the talent isn't actually terrible in World Elite. It's definitely not top class, but you have STYZ on there, who used to be a really strong starter for LGD. You have Spirit, who is appearing to be in Elo Hell right now. It's really sad. But, it also has its weak links. It has Ninja, not the greatest mid laner. Aluka, who, was on the force that Name carried positive energy for, over his back a while back to get first place in the split, back when the competition was admittedly lesser as well. So, it's so hard to find an appropriate matchup here that actually is like the thing to watch, just because the laners are just utterly meh. So if anything, just to give some love to the bottom lane for Starhorn Rail Club up until Name comes in and completes the team with some more star-studded talent, we'll go ahead and see how HIY does against a seemingly slumping STYZ who has historically, when things don't go his way, kind of YOLO'd and did whatever he wanted. I think the fact that he's on World Elite makes him care a lot less, and so we've been seeing that reflected in his performance.